What's up, Schmoedown fans? Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. I'm Star Wars competitor Andrew, the Hunter Dimalanta.
Ooh, and I'm Nicki Dimalanta.
We have 3 matches to go over this episode. Obviously, my match, 2 Innergeekdom matches in the tournament. Tournaments continue. Not to be, expected. Well, to be expected. We're going to talk about my match last because I think.
Yeah.
We could go.
It makes sense.
You know what I mean? We'll get to it.
It makes sense.
We'll get to it. But but I do want to touch on a couple of things before we get to the matches because it has been announced. I think it's been confirmed as far as I know. I haven't watched SEN as of lately because I'm
busy.
I'm busy.
Busy boy.
Busy. So, but from what I hear, the matches between Erwin and Roka and the Kalinowski Andrew Guy match are confirmed.
Hell yeah.
They are going to happen. The Erwin Roka match will be a number 1 contender match.
Ooh.
So the winner of that goes to face Dan Murrell.
That's going to be great.
It's going to be great. Could be another exchange match. We'll see what happens.
Who knows?
But also the match between Kalinowski Andrew Guy.
Oh, God, I can't
The winner
wait.
of that goes up against Ben Bateman in a number 1 contender match to face the winner of the whoever wins out of that little gauntlet that I just mentioned.
Wait. Let me make sure that my brain's keeping up here. Let me get through this.
Okay.
We got Roka, Erwin.
That
winner goes against Dan Murrell for the title.
Yes.
Somebody gonna win.
Yeah. Whoever wins that. Yeah.
Then we see Kalinowski Guy. The winner of that faces whoever won that previous match we just talked. Oh no.
Whoever wins the guy Kalinowski faces Ben Bateman in a number 1 contender match.
And then whoever wins that match
goes up against
whoever versus Bateman goes up against whoever wins whoever versus Murrell.
Yeah, exactly. So
boy.
you thought you're missing out on singles stuff. We're getting right back into those. And then we also have that the massive singles tournament has been confirmed. It's
75 players, so hope you're ready.
If you want to do the quick math, each faction gets 4 players.
Yeah.
And there'll be a couple of play-ins. So
yeah.
So how many factions are there? There's 9. So 9 times 4.
You want to know how I figured out how to do multiples of 9? 1, 2, 3, 4. That equals 36. Y'all see how I did that? You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. 36. That's how you do your multiples of 9. You ready?
Private school at its finest.
Private school education. You're welcome.
Yeah, so it was 36? So, yeah.
I guess.
So,
I mean, that's what my fingers told me.
36
so, yeah. Sorry if
competitor.
you're audio listening, because that just was totally
yeah.
lost on you if it was.
Sorry. But,
watch the video if you want to know how to get your multiples of 9.
With your fingers, the finger trick.
With your fingers.
But, so it's a 36-player tournament. That is
insane.
That's
baby.
so much. So for the factions that are behind because of these Innergeekdom and Star Wars tournaments,
it's huge. Nobody's out of it.
Nobody's out of it.
Absolutely.
Get right back
just
into
because Innergeekdom and Star Wars is happening now, if you're out, it does not mean you're out for the season. It just means that you hit a rough patch. There's still plenty more season to go.
Yeah. And also on that note, I think just today, as the day we're recording, it's Saturday.
Yes.
I think Christian tweeted out that it's like he might have figured out how to do the teams.
He did.
Format.
And I would love. He's a little teasy boy. I would love to know what he meant by that.
I'm very curious to see how this is going to work because we've said it before. How do you confer with your partner over digital?
Do you have a private chat room for you and your partner?
Maybe you have a private Zoom that he's also in.
Zoom
that he can like listen in on you if you're cheating or not. So I'm very curious to see how this works because I almost thought it's almost impossible to do it over.
I mean, apparently
digital.
not. If Christian tweeted about it, he must be pretty confident. He's a spicy boy. He knows what he's doing.
This is gonna be interesting. I'm excited to hear what it is. Maybe we have to wait until I don't know backstage in the next couple weeks to get that confirmation. But I'm excited because I want to see the teams.
Heck
Our
yeah!
Our faction has the team titles. The next one that they're playing is for the title or to defend the title against corruption again. Or Team Corruption. Sorry, they're known as Team Corruption, not Corruption.
Our bad.
But I'm excited for this news. I'm excited for because right now it's like, oh, it's all about the Innergeekdom Star Wars tournaments right now, and it's like once those end, it's like
then
what
it's
we have
singles, and then it's like teams. Sorry, Corona.
but he's found a way to make the rest of the season work with digital, and
that's great.
So
and
happy.
I can't
for that.
wait to hear.
I'm so happy for that because who knows if the team thing does work out. Maybe we get like a semi-collision before we get like a digital collision. Maybe. That would be fantastic.
I mean, who knows? With the way people are going right now, not looking good.
Maybe
especially down here in Florida. People are pretty dumb. So, we might have to plan for the long con in virtual matches. So,
but regardless, digital has proven to work.
It has proven to
and
work.
We've gotten some fantastic matches out of it.
Oh,
the season the season rolls on. The factions have been gaining steam and points. There'll be plenty of points to be make up, if not in the current tournaments. Massive singles tournaments, you can make up some ground there. And if the teams does work, we can make points up there too.
It's still super exciting.
It's wide open.
Just in a different way.
Yeah.
It's just got a different dynamic, and that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Who would have known? An unprecedented pandemic, a global pandemic. You got to adapt. You got to persevere.
Yeah.
And that's what is happening. So I'm glad to know that there's a plan for teams, because it would suck if we got to the end of the season and we didn't really have a teams tournament, and then whatever team happens to win at the end, it's like, well, there's an asterisk next to that win because it was a pandemic. I still think that's going to happen regardless.
Yeah.
Whoever wins, people that didn't want that team to win, whoever it might be, because there's gonna always be whoever wins, regardless. I'm not saying that it's gonna be Finstock Exchange, because who the hell knows?
Yeah.
But whoever happens to win, there's always gonna be people that are like, well, I wanted my faction to win, and that's not my faction. There's always a possibility that's like, well, it wasn't a regular season.
Oh well.
Hey, we gotta make lemonade out of our lemons here, and these are some pretty sour lemons. You know what I'm saying? Corona. So you gotta do what you gotta do.
So those are the couple announcements that I really want to touch on, because they're exciting announcements.
Yeah.
So I'm pleased.
I'm excited to hear.
I'm excited to hear those, because season's back in full swing.
Yeah.
Schmoedown's back.
So you want to just jump right in?
Yes, let's go ahead and jump right in.
Even though we didn't jump right in, we talked about other stuff first.
So let's go ahead and jump into what was aired first.
I got Emily the Rose Jacobson versus Eric Z-Man Zipper. So you got the Finstock Exchange with Emily versus Eric of the Dungeon. And
we weren't able to give our picks on these because they didn't have the schedule out the week before.
Right.
Because we had no idea which ones were coming out.
I mean, this one, it's obvious we were going to go with Emily.
Obviously,
because, Finstock Exchange. Blah,
Yep.
So, round one.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't, it wasn't a great first round, especially for Emily.
Mm-hmm.
I just, the one note that I had was that my favorite question. Do you remember what it was?
What one was it? I'm not sure.
You know what? Don't use your brain power on that. It's not Star Wars. My favorite question was, what kind of police take away Brandon Routh's character in Scott Pilgrim? Vegan police.
Vegan police. I love that movie so much. Oh my god.
Gelato's not vegan? It's milk and eggs. You know what I'm saying? So that was my favorite question, because Scott Pilgrim is a fantastic
such a great
movie.
Underappreciated. For those who don't understand it.
Oh my god. If you haven't seen Scott Pilgrim, do yourself a favor.
Edgar Wright is one of my favorite directors. His style just fits my taste so well.
It's got Brandon Routh, previous Superman. It's got Chris Evans, Captain America. It's got Brie Larson, Captain Marvel. Watch it. It's
Brie
great.
Larson is fantastic in that movie too.
She is so good. I don't...
What?
Envy. Her name is Envy, I think. She was so good in this. I love this movie. I could watch this movie any given day, any given time. Oh, man, it's such a good movie.
We were at a point where we were watching like every single day.
So when they asked the kind of police, we were both like, vegan police. So that was exciting. So at the end of round one, it was 4-8. Not the best.
Not the best first round for Emily.
It was in favor of Eric. So Eric had 8, Emily had 4 at the end of round one.
Mm-hmm.
Round two.
Mm-hmm.
Eric deferred to Emily. She got Spinner's Choice. Very reminiscent of a past match. We'll get to that in the next spin, just to make it come full circle. But Emily got Spinner's Choice. Mm-hmm. She said, you know what? I'm going to learn from my mistakes in the past. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take MCU.
Yeah. And this
was... What was it, 5 questions?
It was 5 questions. This is a rough spin.
And out of 5 questions, she went to multiple choice 4 times.
Yeah.
And out of those 4 times, She out of those 5 questions, multiple choice 4 times. 2 of those 4 times
were stolen.
She got stolen.
Mm-hmm.
2 of those times she got it. Mm-hmm. So,
and she got a 2-pointer.
She must have, because I only said there was multiple choice 4 times, so I hope so. Multiple choice 4 times, missed 2, got 2. Mm-hmm. Eric got opponent's choice. Very reminiscent of the Atlanta match against Alex. Mm-hmm. She got spinner's choice, gave him Harry Potter.
She gave him she
Wizarding World.
No, she gave Alex Wizarding World.
Wizarding World.
Yeah.
And then she got spinner's choice and took Star Trek. It is what it is. So very reminiscent
almost
of the Atlanta match.
Yeah, almost an exact
duplicate. It's pretty much the exact same situation except different
categories. Yeah.
So I know a lot of people were commenting on that, like, not a great. Not a great showing that the same exact thing happened, and we'll get to
it after. We'll get to it.
So Eric got opponent's choice, a lot like Alex did, and they decided to give him Middle Earth.
This ended up backfiring.
It was a big old backfire.
Big backfire.
But one thing I did enjoy is that they decided to give him Middle Earth, and Tom Dagnino said, "Yeah, you know what we're gonna give him? Starts with an M, ends with an E." They're like, what? I'm talking about the first word. Middle. What a legend. My God.
Oh, and he brought is this the match where he brought back the Finstock match? Was it this one or was it the other one?
Yeah, because Finstock Exchange wasn't in the second.
Yeah, so it was this one. He has the Finstock
Yeah, he brought back the good old fashioned Finstock, match or mask
for this one, yeah.
So that was fun. But yeah, Middle Earth starts with an M and ends with an E, so that's fun. Eric, he came to play. He came to play a much different Eric Zipper than we are traditionally used to.
Yeah.
He only went to multiple choice 1 time. He happened to miss it. It happened to get stolen. But by the end of round 2, 9-18 in favor of Eric.
Yeah.
So he knocked his round 2 out of the park. So, it's quite obvious that if he was studying with Smets and Robert Parker, it seems like it paid off because I don't really think there are a lot of people in the league that you could give them Middle Earth and they're like, ooh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Most people would probably not be excited.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know how he's done his accuracy rate in Middle Earth before this match, but he did really good in this match.
Heck yeah, he did.
Fantastic.
He did fantastic. So 9-18 in favor of Eric at the end of round 2. Round 3, Emily goes first. She gets Middle Earth, another Middle Earth.
She has to answer all of her questions.
Correct.
Yeah.
So something about Middle Earth, something about a breed of orcs.
Orakai.
Sure, she got it. Her 3-pointer was Star Wars. Who was the first person to trust Lando again? Oh boy, it hurts when a faction mate loses on a Star Wars question.
Yeah, especially on our end.
It is what it is. Not everybody watches Star Wars every GD day, So it is what it is. I want to say she might have said Leia, but the answer is oh wait, no, actually wait.
She said Leia. I think she said Leia.
Why did I wrote that she got it? I'm wrong. I don't know what I was doing that day. She had to have gotten it wrong because it ended in a TKO. I don't know what I was doing. I think she said Leia. I don't know why I typed
and the answer is C-3PO.
It was C-3PO. The match ended 11-18 in favor of Mr. Eric the Z-Man Zipper.
These are
in a TKO.
TKO and this is a first rounder, so it's not a play-in, so it's 4
big old points.
Much needed points for the dungeon.
Oh, yeah,
These are huge points. It sucks because God, I was really looking forward to Emily.
Yeah.
Performing and but it's just tough. Maybe because she's like, I learned from my lesson. Get MCU. The MCU category right now is one of the tougher categories.
I feel like it's a really heavily excavated category.
Yeah, because it's everybody's so familiar with it. It's like because it's like Star Wars.
Yeah,
it's kind of like another Star Wars because I think right now the deepest ones are the Star Wars ones for the IG.
Is it?
It's hard to gauge difficulty of IG Star Wars questions because You
That's
know what I
true.
mean?
It's very subjective.
It's very
That's true.
subjective,
That's true.
especially coming from a Star Wars competitor, somebody that's helping a Star Wars competitor. Because there are some questions you're like, that's a 3-pointer?
Yeah, that's true. It's super
Yeah.
subjective,
Yeah.
and when you're watching it every day, you're like, oh, really? But
Yeah,
it's very subjective. And when you're in Innergeekdom, your attention is being pulled in a million different ways. So
but
gotta keep that in mind.
It just sucks that the strategy backfired. He's like, because Middle Earth to everybody in the division for IGs, for most of the people are like, that's a tough category, and it is a very tough category.
It's pretty much like give Middle Earth to anybody that wasn't in that Lord of the Rings exhibition match.
Yeah.
It's a somewhat safe bet, but
Yeah,
you don't know. Eric obviously did his homework, so you never know who's looking at those categories that nobody likes.
And who's to say that because both Kevin and Parker were in that exhibition match?
Yeah.
Who's to know that Zipper wasn't in that room helping them study for that?
Very true.
And he picked up all that
Obviously,
knowledge,
he did
and it
fantastic in that
so
round.
this is just something that's just like, oh man, we did our homework. We tried to do our best with the strategy.
Yeah.
It just didn't fall her way
Win
this
some,
time.
you lose some.
And it
sucks, but
sucks.
it is what it is.
It sucks, but I don't see Emily, this discouraging her from playing again.
No.
And who knows? Maybe there's other factors that went into her loss
who knows?
Everybody's busy.
She seems like a resilient player.
And we do have a comment from Squadron Commander.
Hold on, I can get to that.
So we have
Emily Zipper from Josh. I don't honestly, Josh, if you're listening, I don't know if you are, but I don't know.
He's a patron. He has to be listening.
Oh, true. I went to high school with somebody with a last name spelled exactly the same way. He pronounced it Estes, and I don't know if you pronounce it Estes or Estes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna cover both my bases. ESTES. Just so you know what I'm saying.
Can you spell it?
You know what I'm saying? So Josh Estes or Estes, ESTES, said, first round got Emily, and she never recovered. Tough loss, and can't believe she has the only 2 losses for us. I mean, we also got to factor in the, Bateman, Murrow, but, whatever. She will bounce back. I'm sure we all assume Zipper will play Kalinowski.
Yeah, and we'll get to that when we get to predictions, because I think the Kalinowski match is next week. I would assume, because it's another round 1 match. So
I think you're right. I'll look at before we wrap up here. I'll look at the website and see if it's updated, because I don't think it was last week, but
we'll see.
Busy, so.
But it's just a tough round. I think somebody that I always I always go back to, especially for round 1 questions. For how the people are like, oh, they're just round 1 questions. If you don't have a stellar round 1, it can really hurt you.
It really sets the tone.
Because I think Clark Wolf says it's round 1, it really sets the tone for going into we've seen crazier things where people will have not the best round 1 and then come completely back in the second and third round.
For sure.
But you really build your foundation on that first round, and if you don't come to play in the first round, it can really set the tone for the rest. And that's something that Clark Wolf says. I'm gonna just put that in my head, because
Clark Wolf is a legend.
He's a legend.
So,
but yeah, it just did seem there's a lot of factors going into Emily's match, and that leading to the TKO. Maybe she should have gotten another category. What would happen if she would have went with Star Trek this time? Maybe she would have done better.
Who knows?
Maybe she would have went. I believe she's pretty good in Harry Potter.
I thought she was too, but I don't really know for sure.
Yeah, so maybe who's to say if she would have taken Harry Potter, would she have done better? But it's just thinking back on
there's always a coulda, shoulda,
there's
woulda.
always a coulda, shoulda. If you're gonna go back in this match and on your matches or other pins, what if you're
hindsight always
you're gonna
2020.
drive yourself crazy? Oh man, if I only would have done this. You're gonna drive yourself crazy.
You're gonna drive yourself nuts.
But yeah, I really hope this doesn't discourage Emily from competing anymore, because
she's a really positive presence.
Oh yeah, she's a very positive presence, and I think with more work and more just a little bit more polishing up and recognizing where she needs to brush up on.
Yeah,
she could definitely come back.
I like her outfits too. She does she puts in a lot of effort. She and Janine are the 2 leading competitors.
Oh yeah,
that just kill it with their wardrobe.
Yeah, and Emily's just a personality, a female personality that I think the Schmoedown needs. We need more personalities like that.
Interesting that you say that, because there is a lot of talk right now on Twitter and in the Facebook group about female competitors. That's a I don't know if I'd say it as a point of contention, because I feel like a lot of people are on the same page, but there is a lot of talk right now about female competitors and the things that they encounter that, male competitors might not. I don't know how far we want to get into that.
Yeah.
If we have,
I mean, because I can't say anything on this because obviously I'm, male competitor.
Honestly, I know that you've said and other people have said like, oh, Nicki, you should do Star Wars. Honestly, if I'm being honest, half of the reason I would say no is that I don't think I'm good enough. Maybe like 50% to 75%.
I still think you should give it a try. Give it an honest try. You never know.
I love you for that.
Yeah.
But I would say half to maybe 3/4 of the reason I don't do it is because I don't think that I'm good enough. And the rest of it is, I just don't feel like dealing with the backlash as like, this chick doesn't know anything about Star Wars. This girl thinks she's a nerd, it's that kind of thing that I just don't feel like dealing with. So I can understand. I don't mean to shift gears to, this subject too abruptly, but talking about Emily, talking about other female competitors, I can see where they're coming from. Absolutely. Because especially in like Innergeekdom and Star Wars, it's like it seems like a boy's place to be, you know?
No,
and I feel like if I went into Star Wars and I didn't do well, it would be like, just another girl that thinks she knows stuff.
I wouldn't see it as that way. I think people are just talking about like, oh, they're, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like,
I don't want to dive too deep into it because that's a whole bigger topic.
It's just the Schmoedown and Christian and Ellis are always looking for diversity in
heck yeah,
not just between male and female, but like different races.
Absolutely.
African Americans, Asians, Hispanic. You look at the.
I mean, look at you and Ace.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, you're the two. I want to say, am I? I don't know if I'm wrong here, but you're the first two people of color to be contending for the Star Wars belt, which is exciting in and of itself.
Yeah.
But as a female human, I would be a little bit like intimidated out of going into the Schmoedown.
This is a whole deep
it's a whole different conversation. Let's just
let's go ahead
past it.
let's just go ahead and move on to the next match with Chance.
So
Ellison.
Oyama, Paul, prime time
Paul
Oyama, and Chance the Cobra. Ellison.
Yeah.
So we got Oyama of swag. And we got Chance of corruption. You want to know what's sad? What's really sad is that the Schmoedown has a really big presence in your life. I don't know about the rest of you people out there, but I have an Android. I'm a dirty Android user. Sorry for you Apple people. But I swipe when I type. I don't like type in letter by letter. I swipe on my keyboard.
I have the same exact phone as you, and I can't swipe.
I swipe. So I can't type. It just feels like it's 2020. Swipe. Come on. But like,
you can't swipe on a keyboard.
I swipe when I type, and you know that the Schmoedown has too much of a presence in your life when you try to swipe the word corruption, and first of all, your phone recognizes corruption with a K, and then second of all, if you type corruption and it autocorrects it to the correct spelling, you're like, nah, that's not right. That's how I know that I might have a problem. But anyway,
this was a very highly anticipated match.
Yes.
Like
Oyama versus Ellison, they've had history. They come from the fan leagues.
That promo
and that nerd chronic. Can I just
for my audio listeners? I am doing the Wayne's World. We are not worthy.
Oh wow! I was just gonna say bowing down, but nice movie reference. But yeah, Eric Nerd Chronic, you are a wizard. Holy goodness!
Such a great promo.
Wizard. My God. I don't know when it happened. I don't know when Eric got hired to take the helm on these promos.
Was it? Yeah, it was the beginning of this. He not officially. He became full time as the editor.
I don't know when this shift happened.
The shift
immediately.
I get what you're saying. Yeah,
but like these promos are.
Yeah, they're very good.
I don't mean to try to be sounding like I'm like one of the kids these days. I don't want to be like, wow, these promos are fire. That's what like 20-year-olds say. I'm not a 20-year-old anymore.
That's been a long time.
But these promos are fire, you know what I'm saying? So, excellent job, Eric. You are a champ. My God, there should be an editing belt and you would hold it forever.
Yeah.
So, Oyama Ellison, swag corruption with a K, round 1. They both got perfect rounds.
Yeah.
My God. And the bonus question was from Rocketeer. I'm an idiot because they asked this question. I'm like, wow, wasn't Rocketeer from like the 70s?
No, it's set in a certain time period that doesn't look modern.
What an idiot.
You know what I mean?
So it was a bonus question from the Rocketeer. I thought that was from the 70s, but apparently it wasn't.
It's a
Anyways,
90s
they
film.
both got it.
Yeah.
So by the end of round one, it was
Jennifer Connelly.
Exactly. That's why when Jennifer Connelly was the answer, I was like, oh, wait, is this movie not from the 70s? She must have been really young. So it was 11-11 tie at the end of round one because they're both, killing it.
Yeah.
Round two. Chance went first. He got Middle Earth.
Oof.
Did he? I mean, I don't remember if it was his first spin or his second spin.
I think it was his first.
But he got Middle Earth. He went to multiple choice twice. One time he missed and it was stolen. One time he went to multiple choice and he got it. Paul went second. He got a big fat opponent's choice.
Yeah.
And Chance really went for the jugular here.
Like Star Wars.
For Star Wars. It was a rough round for Paul.
Didn't he? He
went to multiple choice 3 times total. He got 2 of the multiple choices. 1 of the multiple choices got stolen. There was one miss that he did not go to multiple choice on. So it was a big old 2-point miss.
Yeah.
And it was about who ordered C-3PO's memory to be wiped.
Yeah.
And so I think he said Leia.
He said
Obi-Wan. He said Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
He said Obi-Wan. And it's funny. It's funny to see Shannon coach Chance because I feel like one of the things she was saying was like, take your time, don't rush in. And you could just see that Chance was ready to just flex when as soon as Paul missed that question, he wanted to scream Bail Organa, but Mark or Christian or whoever was announcing was like, let me ask the question.
Yeah, for the audio listeners, let me
ask the question. Hold on. But you could just see for like any steal opportunity.
He wanted to jump on it.
He
does it a lot.
Ready to rush in.
Yeah.
Which granted, he probably knew the answer.
Yeah.
But
it could backfire.
Play however you want to play, Chance. Do you, baby? I'm sure you're not listening, but he was ready to scream out Bail Organa, and so they read the question. He stole it. At the end of round 2, it was 16-21 in favor of Chance. Going into round 3, Paul obviously goes first with his 2-pointer. He got Harry Potter, who was promoted as. Somebody got promoted to something. Yeah. Probably a wizard of some sort.
Yeah. This is not a Harry Potter house.
This is not a Harry Potter house. I can tell you that much for free.
I mean, it's judging from the decor, Star Wars and Marvel.
Somebody got promoted to something. It was probably something about a wizard and something about Quidditch or something. Whatever. He got it. He got it right. 3-pointer for Paul. He got Middle Earth. Can't escape it. Nobody can, apparently.
Yeah.
Who plays Thranduil? He got it. It went back to Chance for his 2-pointer.
So he avoids the TKO? Or is it...
No, it was... I don't believe it was a TKO because...
No, because they were in TKO territory, weren't they?
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
But thankfully, Paul got his 3-pointer. So he got his 3-pointer. It bounced back to Chance for his 2-pointer. He got the category of who said it. I didn't write down the whole quote, but it started with, I know what it feels like to lose. Same. Thanos. He got it.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry, I don't mean it, but like, who said it in the IG?
That's rough.
That's rough. No matter how many points it's worth, it's still difficult because you got to navigate all those movies. With Star Wars, it's like...
At least you're a lot more focused, really. But with, oh my God, it's basically mixed bag.
Yeah.
So he got it, though. It was Thanos and Thanos. Word, same. I feel you. 5-pointer, Paul. He got DCEU. And what a question. What kind of wedgie is given to Freddie Freeman in Shazam?
Suitcase wedgie.
I've never seen Shazam, but I was like, well, I mean, the only wedgie I'm aware of is
the atomic wedgie.
And that's what Paul said, bless his heart. But it was suitcase wedgie, and Andrew informed me that that's because you can carry him around.
You grab him the wedgie and you carry him around like a suitcase.
That's rough.
Shazam's it's a good movie. I don't love it like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But it's still a good movie. I enjoyed it, but I have my own issues with it, but like I didn't like love it like everybody else did, but maybe I liked it better than Aquaman though.
I haven't seen Aquaman either. Yeah. So Paul missed it. 21-23, Chance Ellison. A big 3 points for corruption.
3 point for corruption. God,
big 3 points.
And I'm saying, man, the dungeon and corruption don't don't count them out because
Oh no.
they can catch up real quick. Oh, and we had before we talk more about this.
Yes.
Josh,
So
more to say.
Josh. Oh God, autoplay on my phone. Sorry, everybody. Josh Estes. Sorry, you're gonna have to tell me how you say it. Chance Oyama. Josh said, "Good match. I had Chance winning because Swag doesn't need to get any closer to us."
For those who don't know, Josh is a part of the Finstock Exchange, the Gucciverse, that whole
Gucciverse.
Yeah, the Finstock
Taking a
Exchange
ride to the
podcast. He's
Gucciverse.
a part of that, so
yeah.
that's why he's Finstock Exchange.
Us. Swag didn't need to get any closer to us. Chance looked good. His next match will be even harder.
Yeah.
So yeah, Chance's next match is going to be a big one because it'll be the quarterfinals.
Yes.
And it'll be because at the top of the. Let me pull up my graphic here. Hold on, everybody.
I just saw you on my guest gift on your phone.
Yeah, baby. You know it. So, Chance's next match is going to be against whoever wins Parker Goddard.
Mm-hmm.
And then whoever wins Chance versus, the winner of that match is going to face the winner of Barbarian, John Humphrey. And it's going to be a quarterfinal.
Yes.
And then the winners of that will, of course, go to the semifinals, final, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I know how brackets work. So, yeah. It's going to be Chance versus... Robert Parker versus Goddard. That's going to be a big match to watch.
Yeah.
Because everybody is just... peeing in their pants for Robert Parker.
Yeah.
And Ben Goddard, he's got a big old bid to be Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
He's undefeated so far.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a huge match.
Yeah, and
I'm excited for that.
I think Chance actually commented. He's like, who would he rather play? And he's like, I think he said that he would like to give Goddard his first loss of the season.
Yeah, I think he was happy to see either one.
No, but he said he wanted Parker because it's like if you want to win in this division, especially the IG, you got to beat the big dogs.
Yeah. So everybody's betting on Robert Parker. They think he's the next, messiah of the Innergeekdom.
Yeah.
So obviously he would probably want to face Robert Parker. But should he face Ben Goddard, he would be. I do think he said he would be excited to hand him his first L.
Loss. Yeah.
So you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I know.
So that's Chance Oyama.
Yeah, and what do you think of Oyama's because? Again, it
was his debut.
He got a category that he really wasn't the best in his second round. Because I know he's really strong in Harry Potter. So had he gotten Wizarding World, who knows how the third round would have shaken out?
I hope to see him back.
I do too.
Because how far did we get? Wait, hold on, everybody. Everybody, hold on. Keep your pants on. So we got to... Chance got to his 2-pointer.
Yeah.
So we didn't even get to see Chance do his 3 or his 5.
Yeah.
It was 21-23. I hope to see Paul back. It wasn't,
It wasn't. Yeah.
Granted, it was. Wait, no, it wasn't a TKO.
Yeah.
It wasn't a TKO. It wasn't a knockout.
IG.
It was a respectable debut. Yeah. He stumbled in Star Wars. It was not an easy round 2. But I hope to see him back.
Even if he doesn't play in IG again, singles and teams.
He's got a strong bid for those.
He's got a strong bid for those. Former champion. Come on now. You're the youngest singles champion we've ever seen.
The fact that you can swing it in singles and teams
and in IG,
and the fact that you're a former champ, it kind of means that you can kind of play around and be like, could I swing it in the third division? So you've earned that right to be like, maybe. I could pick up some extra points.
I'm more looking forward to seeing Paul back in singles and teams, especially with teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
final
exam is a scary looking team.
I cannot wait.
I cannot wait for that.
I've been missing Lon.
Yeah.
And I really am enjoying new Paul.
Yeah, I've been missing just the team's division period. Like I want to see all those personalities back on.
Me too.
On that. So I'm really like that this IG thing is like if he wants to continue with IG, sure, you might have to tighten a couple things up, but
yeah, of course.
I'd much rather see Paul in singles and teams because I know he can come to perform in those and I know he can make a big run in those divisions. So for Chance, this is surprising. Maybe a lot of the study tactics that he's been doing with Mike is starting to work.
Yeah.
So now if he can continue the steam going into the tournament, Corruption's going to look really good.
Yeah.
Because you have Kalneski on the other side of the bracket. He's most likely the favorite to win that side.
If
Chance can get the steam going and perform this well, it's an all Corruption final.
Yeah. That's huge.
Huge. And then also, you got Laura Kelly in the Star Wars division.
Yeah.
and she's a heavy favorite to go up against Ace. So
Heck yeah.
they can be in the finals for both of these tournaments.
It could be. Yeah, exactly.
This is huge.
It could be an all corruption final for IG. It could be a corruption involved final. I mean, if I'm gonna pick my winner, we'll get to that.
We'll
get there.
But yeah, so
but that's the Oyama Ellison. You know, we didn't really get to pick our winners, but and I don't honestly, it's really easy to be like, yeah, I would have picked Chance. I don't know who I would have picked if we would have done it before. I don't know. Because it's real easy now. Hindsight's 2020. It's easy to be like, well, yeah, Kalinowski's been training with Chance. Duh. But it's real easy to say that after the fact. I honestly don't know who I would have picked going into it.
But regardless, it's a decent debut for Paul. It is a really must win for corruption.
Yes.
So we'll see how the rest of the tournament shakes out. And man, these tournaments are getting to be really, especially now they're getting the deeper you get into these tournaments, you're gonna see some really good matches.
Heck yeah.
So let's go ahead and move on to. I mean, there's another match that we have to talk about. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some match with the wife of Alex Damon and some dude named Andrew Dimalanta.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get to that.
I guess.
Yeah. So.
I've already talked this match to death off air.
Off air, yeah. So let's go ahead and didn't take super deep notes for this one, but
what a big surprise.
But
yeah. So okay, so Star Wars match. Molly Damon of The Usual Suspects. Last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever, I was like, Magic Molly Damon. I'm pretty sure. Wait,
no, you said
Molly Magic Damon. I'm pretty sure it's Magic Molly Damon.
Yeah, it is.
What an idiot I am.
Yeah.
So this match was Magic Molly Damon of The Usual Suspects versus Andrew the Hunter Dimalanta of the Finstock Exchange.
Who's that?
I don't
Do you know who
know.
that guy is?
Oh no.
I don't know. But yeah, there's one comment that Harloff made. Because at the end of my promo I said the hunt continues. And he's like, yeah, I really. Or no, let's continue the hunt. He's like, I really like that.
Yeah,
like,
baby.
I do too.
Yeah, man.
But
That's what
so we we get into it. Obviously, this is a big match for both of us.
Yeah.
Obviously, we both were coming off of our first wins in the division, and Harloff has said much. A win in the Star Wars division is worth 4.
Heck yeah.
Because.
I mean, look at. I feel like I could have like an hour-long podcast by myself in a room just talking about the Star Wars division. Just give me a whiteboard and I will beautiful mind it. Oh my God.
Like that. What's his name from
Charlie Day. I feel like I could. But I shouldn't because my sanity is at stake. But I mean, look at Joseph Scrimshaw. He is a legend of the Star Wars division. And at this point, he's 1-4.
He's got 1 win.
A legend. He's beloved in the Star Wars League, as he should be.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he shouldn't be at all. He is fantastic. He is so knowledgeable. That man's 1-4.
Yeah.
Ken Knapsack? Doesn't he only have 1 win?
The first champion of the division.
Exactly.
1 win.
1 win.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's 1-3 or 1-4.
So he lost to Whitwer, Alex Damon, and Ace. So he's 1-4.
The same as Scrimshaw.
Yeah, so he's 1-4 as well.
I mean, check that out. 2 of the old guard, as people would say.
I refer to him as
legends.
The founding members.
They've both only got 1 win. It's the
It's
Star Wars
huge.
division is a different kind of
You have
beast.
to look. I always say you have to look at performances and accuracy rate when it comes to really, if you're going to draft one of these players, look at their accuracy rate. Look at how they performed in their past matches. That's how you judge a Star Wars player. Don't look at their record.
Yeah.
Prime example. Everybody overlooked that 0-2 record.
Yeah. Watch the match.
Yeah. Watch the match, see how they perform. That's how you judge a Star Wars player.
Because if you looked at Joseph Scrimshaw, you'd be like 1-4. Who's this?
Yeah. But then look at his matches.
But look at his matches. He is
He's a beast.
Like, no one would want to go against Joseph Scrimshaw. He's a beast.
Yeah.
Obviously, from his last showing in his last match. Yeah. He's a beast.
Yeah.
So, again, I could go on.
So let's go ahead and get into the match. So
wrangle me in, baby, because I could go on.
Yeah.
So,
and
Molly.
Josh did comment. We'll read his comment.
We'll get to his comment afterward. Yeah. So, Molly Damon, Magic Molly Damon versus Andrew the Hunter Dimalanta. I know I say this like every episode, but I didn't take notes. Sorry. So the first round 1, they both got perfect rounds. Not too much to talk about when you get perfect rounds. The bonus question was, how many theatrically released movies did Yoda appear in, I think?
And we got 20 seconds. I think even before they asked the question, they're like, we're going to give you 20 seconds for this. I'm like, oh, God, this is going to be a numbers question.
Peed my pants
Yeah, it's
out
like,
in the
Jesus.
living room. I was like, oh my God, what are they about to ask?
Yeah.
They're giving 20 seconds. So how many theatrically released movies did Yoda appear in? It was, Andrew said 7. Molly said 8, if I'm not mistaken. The answer was 7.
It was 7. And it took me the full 20 to get. Well, no, like it took me the full 20 to confirm my answer.
It would have taken me about 30 minutes to get to that answer.
I got it in, I believe I got it in 15, and then I took that extra 5
to confirm.
And I'm like, I'm sure I'm right here. Because once he got to 2, I was about to say repeat the question just so I can get that extra 20 just to confirm it.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I'm pretty confident.
Pretty good.
I'm pretty confident in my answer, and I don't want to give Molly an extra 20 to think about it.
Right.
Because she was one number off.
Exactly.
So
it was 7. He said 7. She said 8. The answer was 7. So by the end of round 2, it was 10-11 in favor of Andrew.
Yes.
Round 2, Andrew went first. He got.
I got Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
Okay, so this
Listen.
is. Yeah. I have a feeling most of this conversation is going to revolve around this one question.
I could probably have a podcast by myself in a room for a solid hour just talking about Luke's hatred and the Tidarium.
Yeah. So,
but I don't want to do that for my own mental health.
Yeah.
So,
so the question was, well, something along. I don't remember the complete wording of the question, honestly, but it was something to do with was the name of the Imperial shuttle that the Rebel. What was the name of the shuttle that the Imperials, not the Imperials, the Rebels stole to get access to Endor?
So what happened?
So this is what happens. So I said Tidarium, and I will stand by that. I will say
I will stand by it.
I'll stand by it that I said Tidarium.
Yep.
Christian Harloff misheard, and he wanted to confirm that what I said.
Yeah.
And he told me to spell it. Now I've been on record saying that I am not the best speller. And when you ask me to spell things, I kind of panic a bit because, so I'll get to that in a second. But like he told me to spell it, I spelled it with an N, not an M. He said, sorry, it's Tidarium, not Tidarian.
Yeah.
I didn't get the points. They were stolen by Molly because she did give the correct answer.
Obviously.
Now, I am not arguing that I spelled it wrong. I'm not arguing that I got it right the first whatever. The ruling was I spelled it wrong, therefore I don't get the points, and I am not arguing that. The ruling is a ruling. I completely agree with the ruling because in that moment, the way that this shaped out, the way the question and my answer unfolded, I got it wrong. I fully admit that. My problem with this chain of events is why not ask me just to repeat it? You know what I mean? I understand why he wanted me to spell it because he doesn't want to make it seem like he's leading me to an answer because that's happened before in the Schmoedown with that one IG match with the Harry Potter
Harold and Errol,
and they could be understood that somebody got led to that answer. I can almost maybe not confirm, but like I can understand why he didn't want to do that, so he wouldn't seem like he was leading me to a certain answer. So, but my problem, my issue is why not just ask me to say it again? Tidarium. And we had a friend that clipped it out, sent it to us as like, you clearly said Tidarium. And like that my problem is like, why not just ask me to say it again? Just ask me to say it again. Because when you go back to it and you look, my mouth is closed. And my friend commented that like it's like, yeah, like what's the word? Like it's phonetically, it's phonetically and physically impossible to have an N sound with your mouth closed. Tidarium. If you said Tidarian, your mouth is open. So it's physically impossible to say Tidarian with your mouth closed. So, again, the ruling is a ruling. I'm not arguing that I spelled it wrong. It's just why not ask me to spell it again? Or not? Why not just ask me to say it again? So, and And you look like you're itching to say something.
I'm seething. Because, okay, honestly, there's really no point in belaboring this topic because everybody has talked this to death on Facebook, on Twitter, on wherever. Yeah. And it's honestly, it's a moot point because as far as Andrew is concerned, luckily it didn't determine the match. Yep. It doesn't really matter. You don't want to seem like a sore loser, of course. But, you know, you want to defend yourself. You want to defend the fact that it's like, I know what I know. Yeah. And if you misheard me,
and I know what I said,
I'm sorry. But seriously, I could go on and on about this for a long time, but I don't really have the energy to anymore. I'm probably going to go on for it more than I should. But I don't really have the energy. Andrew and I have already ranted and raved to each other about this for way longer than we probably should have. It's just it doesn't matter at this point, you know. And it's real easy to say shoulda, coulda, woulda. But guess what? I'm going to. So he shouldn't have been asked to spell it because in the Schmoedown, it has happened in the past, if I'm not mistaken. There have been times where when a whiteboard is not involved, there was, you know, what was that? Can you say that again? And people have been asked to repeat it. If I don't ever recall anybody ever being asked to spell their answer as a confirmation of what they said. If I'm mistaken, please send me an example. And do not cite that pass, and I think it was an Innergeekdom match. I think it was Vejvoda.
Yeah, it was Vejvoda
when
versus
he said an
Goddard.
answer, they were like, and he goes, oh, I can spell it, and then he spelled it, and then I don't remember exactly what happened, but they moved on. That's different. That was the player saying, oh, I see your face, and I see that you're not sure. Let me spell it.
Yeah, because he gave two different pronunciations of the name.
The difference is that was the player going, oh, I'll spell it. The difference here is it was the announcer saying, spell that for me, which has never happened. That is not the precedent that has been set. If we reference Alba, that is not the precedence that has been set. He should never have been asked to spell it, is the thing that drives me up a wall. He should have, if you're not sure what he said, and if it is true that spelling is not contingent, the correct answer is not contingent on your spelling, then why did we ask to spell? Why were we not just asked to repeat? That's the thing that drives me up a wall. Yeah. You know? So, you know, that's my take. And as far as I've been told in the past, every take is a take. So that's mine. So I totally 100% disagree that he was asked to spell it. No one has ever been asked to spell an answer by the announcer in the past to confirm what they've said. Yeah. And if they have, please send me an example of that because I don't ever remember that happening.
Yeah, and
the thing that just really just drives me insane is the fact that he said it right initially. It was misheard, and because it was misheard, and because, like he said, he's a self-admitted not great speller, gets flustered on the spot, spelling it out loud without being able to see his, you know, without maybe being able to write it in front of him. That cost him 2 points, even though. The really ironic part to me is that you can literally go back and watch the video evidence that he said Tidirium. Yeah. You cannot say Tidirian with your mouth closed. Yeah. Check my mouth out. Tidirium.
You might want to move because I'm looking. You can't really see your mouth with the microphone in front of you. But
if you're watching on video, check out my face. Tidirium. My mouth closes when I say it with an M. If you watch the playback, Andrew's mouth closes. I said I wasn't going to belabor this point, and it's hard not to because I already have. Yeah. But there's really no point in going on too much more about it. Yeah. It is what it is. It didn't determine the match. Yeah. I can't help but get passionate because all I want to do is defend this man because I know he's known the word Tidirium since he was probably an effing kindergartner. You know what I'm saying? Let you go ahead and talk before I go on any further.
And here's the thing. Again, I'm not arguing that I spelled it wrong. I spelled it wrong. And because I spelled it wrong, I got the question wrong and the points got stolen.
Yeah.
And I've said this on air before. I've said it, and I said it after my match. I am a world-renowned terrible speller. And just to pull the curtain back a little bit.
A lot.
And, this is beyond the Schmoedown. We want to go beyond the Schmoedown. This isn't Andrew, the competitor. This isn't Andrew, the the Schmoedown commentator talking about matches week to week. This isn't Andrew, the Star Wars fan. This is Andrew, the person.
Yeah.
Spelling is it's a flaw of mine, and it's one of my biggest. It is my biggest insecurity. When I'm asked to spell things out loud, especially spell things out loud, I panic, and I end up second guessing myself. I end up spelling words wrong when I know very well how to spell them. And the example I can give is like, imagine your biggest insecurity, whatever that may be, and somebody turns a spotlight on it and shows it, and just like it makes it the focus of what you're talking about, what your attention is.
Point.
It makes it the focal point. And not only is it the focal point, but it's broadcast to the world to see live. That's me in that moment. That is me. That's why I ended up misspelling it, because I've struggled with this my entire life. I've been insecure about this my entire life. I don't like spelling out loud. I much rather spell it out on a whiteboard, spell it out for my because that's how my brain operates. I operate better when I can see it in front of me, and then I can spell it for you. That's just how I work. And it was I panicked in that moment, because it's my biggest insecurity being shown to everybody. And now that it's out there in the world, people will make fun of it. People will poke fun at it. And it's just something I'm going to have to deal with now. So that's what happened. That's why I ended up... I mean, it's not an excuse, but that's what happens. And hindsight's 2020, I should have asked to... I wish I would have said, can I write it down on my whiteboard? And Gucci said that much too. He said, I really wish he could have jumped in and say, ask him to spell it on your whiteboard. So it is what it is. The ruling is, I didn't get it right. I completely agree with that. My issue is, why not just ask me to say it again?
Especially since you said it right the first time anyway. So let me just throw that in. Especially since he said it right the first time anyway. Let me put that in there. Sorry. But... okay, so let's move past that.
Let's go ahead and move on. So
the rest of Andrew's round 2, it went
perfect.
It went great.
It went perfect. I got every single one right.
He bounced back. He got every single one right.
Yes.
It goes to Molly. Now I also have some notes about Molly's round.
Yeah.
Molly's round 2, she got the her first spin was A New Hope.
Yeah, and she spun away.
She decided to spin again.
That.
So she spun again, and she got the Phantom Menace. Mm-hmm. She got 2 questions. Again, let me put some asterisk in front of what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
Because, it's real easy to couch play. Mm-hmm. It's real easy to couch
compete
and like be like a couch official. It's real easy to do that. Mm-hmm. I have nothing but the utmost respect for Mark and Christian. Anybody who's announcing these matches, especially these Twitch matches, because this is unprecedented. This is new territory. Yes, It's a tough spot to be put in. Mm-hmm. If you're playing a live match, especially these Twitch matches, this is brand new territory. Mm-hmm. Weird stuff's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And in the moment, who knows what you're gonna do? Who knows what decision you're gonna make? And whatever decision you make, it kind of just is what it is, because it's live. Mm-hmm. Now it's on tape forever. It's emblazoned into the internet forever. Yeah. For everyone to clip out and whatever. Yeah. So I do not envy that position. It's a hard position to be put in. Mm-hmm. And I have the utmost respect for them, and weird stuff's going to happen. And that much I respect, and that's why I accept it. Every take's a take, so I'm going to disagree with it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And same thing goes for the question writers, because it's not an easy job either.
No, it's not.
Especially with Star Wars, especially lately with Star Wars, everything seems to be under like a magnifying glass. It's
microscope,
like 100 times, magnified. So I want to go ahead and just put that out there that it's a hard job.
It's a hard job, and you get nothing but crap for it sometimes.
Exactly. You can do everything right, and there's still going to be somebody that craps on you.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're an announcer, whether you're in a question writer,
a competitor.
Just because your person didn't win the match, somebody's going to have something to say.
Yeah.
No matter how well written the question is, no matter how well you handled whatever happened during the match, it's a tough gig.
Yeah. But
here we are talking about it.
So Phantom Menace.
The Phantom Menace. Molly had 2 questions that, in my personal opinion, were the answers were really oddly open-ended.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about the Star Wars division, especially now, I feel like the dynamic is kind of shifting for the Star Wars division.
Yeah.
Everyone is very hypersensitive, like, well, you know, you got to have every letter right and every word right and this and that. And then, you know, everything's got to be perfect.
To be precise, yeah.
And I do agree with that. I said it so much in the last podcast.
Yeah.
Everything's very finite. There's a finite number of questions within a finite number of movies, so you do have to be very precise. I said that. I'm on record saying that.
Yeah.
So I do agree. Where was I going with this? So
her first question.
She had 2 questions that were oddly open-ended. In my opinion, I do believe that questions in the Star Wars division should be able to be answered with this is the answer.
Yeah. If you're going to ask if you're going to ask the competitors to answer their answers to be precise, the questions
have to be able to be answered precisely.
Yeah. Not only the questions need to be worded to where it is definitive. That's what you're asking.
Yeah.
This is the answer you're looking for. This first question was something about why does Obi-Wan
want to land the Naboo Royal Starship on Tatooine?
Why does he think it's safe or something to that
like
effect? And my immediate thought was, it's small, out of the way, and poor.
Right. And she heard it and she was like,
what?
Oh.
Even I was like, what?
Yeah, I saw both of your faces and I was like, well, I'm about to throw up.
Yeah.
And she asked for multiple choice.
Even after we got the multiple choices.
And it was like, it's controlled by the Hutts.
Oh, it's protected by the Hutts.
Protected by the Hutts, sorry. Protected by the Hutts.
Free of the Trade Federation.
And then something else.
2 other ones that weren't the answer.
She went with the Hutts one, right?
Controlled by the Hutts, yeah. Or protected by the Hutts, sorry.
Protected by the Hutts.
And it was wrong.
So Andrew got it. He asked to hear the question again.
Which didn't count against my JTEs because Ellison was initially supposed to ask me the question again anyways.
Even though everybody in the comments was like, that should have been a JTE.
No, the way it works when stealing happens, you got to ask the question again and the multiple choice again. So.
And then Andrew decided to go with what was
it? Was B. It was free to the Trade Federation.
Free of the Trade
Federation. Which ended up being the correct answer.
Because the quote was like, it's small.
Small, out of the way, poor. And then he goes on, and the Trade Federation has no presence there.
Right.
So within the context of the question, what are you asking for? Are you asking for the first part of the line? Are you asking for the last part of the line? It's the way the word, and that's why both of us struggled with it. Was like, what part? Because I imagine both of us knew the answer, the answer. It's just what part
Which one are you
looking for? So like,
and your initial answer was not part of the multiple choice.
Yeah, exactly.
Choices.
So it's like, if they're gonna ask, if you want precise answers, the question has to be written in a way where is definitive. This is what you're asking for.
Yeah.
And we both feel that this question was a little open-ended and is up to interpretation from both the writer and the competitor and the announcer.
Yeah.
So.
And the same goes for another question that she had. It fell out of my head.
It was how does
how does Padme gain the trust of like Boss Nass or whatever?
Yeah.
And it was Molly was like, well, she knelt down.
She gets on her knees and
begged. And they were like, yeah, she humbled herself.
It's like
if I would have answered that question, I would have been like, I don't know. She revealed herself as not one of the decoys and then got on her knees.
Yeah.
Like if you, again, asterisk, sorry to nitpick, but I mean, if you have to answer, especially in the Star Wars division, if your answer is like, because she got down on her knees and asked him to, I mean, I personally believe that the answer should be able to be more precise. It makes me think back to the title match against Alex and Joseph.
The BB-8 question.
The BB-8 question, like, why does Rey, like, I don't remember exactly. Why does Rey, like, go after Finn on
what is, like,
Jakku?
Yeah, what's the reason why Rey chases Finn?
And I don't remember exactly what Joseph's answer was that made him get it wrong. But Alex was like, because he was wearing Poe's jacket and BB-8 recognized it. Like, if that's how Alex Damon is answering your question, like,
Yeah.
So when it's an open-ended question, it's kind of like, ooh,
Yeah.
So, I kind of felt for Molly. Not kind of. I totally felt for Molly with those two questions because it's like, it wasn't like it was a T14 hyperdrive.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't, cut and dry like that.
It wasn't Zabrak or
Yeah,
Zabrak,
it wasn't-
however she pronounces it.
Zabrak, however you want to spell it or pronounce it. It wasn't that. It was two kind of open-ended questions that, depending on who you ask, they're going to answer a different way.
Yeah, and her second question, the answer she gave was almost completely different than the answer that Ellis ended up saying.
With the Amidala one?
Yeah, she humbled herself. It's like
was what Mark said.
Yeah, well, Mark said,
and she said, well, she got on her knees and begged, which is humbling.
It is
yourself.
humbling yourself, but it's like if you have to leave your answer up to interpretation.
Yeah,
and that I fully believe that's not. Well,
I mean, getting on your knees and begging and humbling yourself is one and the same. But I just my opinion is if you have to answer like, because she got down on her knees.
Yeah.
If you're answering like that.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
It's just weird, especially now after the matches that we've seen.
Yeah,
with both me and Molly. It's like
what I just want. All I want in the world, if I can just pray to the Star Wars gods, I want a Star Wars match with no controversy. That's all I want.
You want one with no controversy.
I want one with no controversy. God. I want one that's just like, hey, that was a nice, clean Star Wars match that no one's complaining about.
Yeah.
So
we get into round 3. And it's I can't remember the score at this point. But it gets to where you
pick for the numbers first.
Yeah.
So you must have been up by however many.
Mm-hmm. And then,
and because you stole one of her questions.
I stole.
You stole the why did we land on Tatooine?
Yeah.
So you stole that one. So you must have been up by something. So you picked your numbers first.
Mm-hmm.
She went first with her 2-pointer.
Mm-hmm. She got that. I can't remember what the question she got, but she got her 2. I got my 2. She misses her 3, which was
the Palpatine one. An entire Legion.
Yeah, that Legion one. So like, and
that's a tough.
That's a tough one to miss because it's both.
That's a stinging miss.
It's almost a carbon copy of the one she missed in Chicago.
Almost an exact carbon copy.
And if you watch my reaction to that, people were saying that like, oh, Andrew knows this. I wasn't reacting to because I did know the answer. I wasn't reacting that way. I was reacting like she knows this because it's the same question.
Because in Chicago, she got a question about how many of Palpatine's men did he say were waiting?
Yeah, and
during the Battle
Legion.
of Endor,
yeah.
And it was an entire Legion. Then in this match, she gets, Palpatine says that an entire
Legion of his what?
Legion of what? It's like the exact same quote, just a different part.
Yeah.
That she was asked to fill in the blank. And it's just that much more heartbreaking that it's like literally the same thing she missed in Chicago.
Yeah. And
so that was rough.
And another peek behind the curtain. I talked to Molly and Alex.
Yeah, I wish we lived closer because they're
because
cool
we
people.
DM each other. Star Wars fans, we'd like to talk to each other. We'd like to talk to each other about these matches, about Alex's Innergeekdom matches, being both smart on competitors and fans. But she messaged me. She's like, "I hate this question now.
Yeah, I hate that line.
I hate this question. I hate that line." I was like, "I know it sucks," but So she misses her 3. I get my 3, which was I can't remember. Is that something about? I don't know, but I get my 3-pointer, bounces back to her, and she misses her 5.
Do you remember what her 5 was?
Her 5 was...
it was the
Redemption.
medical frigate. Yeah.
Redemption.
I remember that.
Yeah.
It was the medical frigate.
My 3-pointer was Greg Grunberg.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So, but...
Well, whatever. Yeah, so she got... what was the medical frigate that, Luke got his new robotic hand on, basically. Yeah. And she said the Liberty.
And it's Redemption.
Right.
Yeah. This is the first match I have where I don't have to answer a 5-pointer.
Yeah.
So I was happy about
nice
that.
Change.
It was a nice change of pace, but like you can see my reaction. Like the second she answers Liberty, I'm like, oh, thank God. Yeah, and it was a good match. It was a great. it was a fantastic match. And I said it before. Like going into the match, people were like, "Oh, Andrew's got this in the bag." It's like. Don't say that. Don't say that because don't sleep on Molly Damon.
The poll that happened at the beginning of the match, I think the results of the poll, if I'm not mistaken, were 55% of the people chose you, and the rest chose Molly.
People might say that I was the heavy favorite going in this one. I was like,
I wouldn't say heavy,
but don't sleep on Molly Damon. And look what happened.
Not.
And it was a fantastic match. My oh my God, the thing that's gonna kill me though. And will just like drive me nuts is that anytime people will look at this match, the only thing they're gonna go look back on
Is Tidarium.
is Tidarium. They're not going to look at the fact that I missed my first second round question, and I go perfect the rest of the way.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I got shook in that moment, but immediately focused up, ran through the rest of my questions, didn't get a single one wrong. That's not going to be the point of contention for most people. That's not what they're going to latch onto. That's not what they're really going to be talking about. They're going to be talking about Tidarium.
Yeah.
That's all anybody's going to talk about. And it's just, my past 2 matches, it's not.
There's always an asterisk by the
it's
win.
like an asterisk. Do you hear my air quotes, audio listeners? Is I can't really enjoy my win.
Yeah.
Because there's this glaring thing that everybody wants to talk about, and I can't, like, I won the match, but after the match, I told you as much. It doesn't feel like a win to me.
Yeah.
Because of what happened in the second round.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a little annoying. I mean, I'm sure this other competitors have seen stuff like this before.
Oh, for sure.
And it's just a whole other experience now that I'm playing so many matches in such a compressed time now.
Yeah.
That I haven't got, because at most you'll compete in the Star Wars division maybe once or twice during the year.
Yeah.
Now you have this week after week after week you got to play it now because it's a tournament. So
it's like super pressurized.
Yeah.
The thing that I was telling Andrew is like, I mean, pretty soon in the next couple of months, Andrew will have been in an active competitor in the Schmoedown for an entire year. And in that year, I just do not believe that people that are in the Schmoedown, competitors in the Schmoedown, get enough credit for how much stuff they put up with.
Yeah.
Like, even just being in the Schmoedown for 1 year. I'm not even in it. It's him.
Yeah.
Like,
and
just,
not necessarily being in it, just like you know what I mean?
competing in it.
Yeah.
Just being involved in it. I mean, I wish that the competitors now could get more credit for how much work they put into it, how much stuff they put up with. How much, I can't help but think about the John Rokas and the Mike Kalinowskis, that they have been in this for years, and they definitely ruffle feathers.
Yeah.
They definitely have people that are rooting against them, and they have endured. And I'm not just saying it's only Roka and Kalinowski. Those are just the 2 that jump into my mind immediately. But all the competitors that, like, you've been doing this for years, you get people that just
don't like you
against you, and you just get so much smack talk, whether it's in the Facebook group, whether it's in YouTube comments, whether it's on Twitter, wherever, Instagram, whatever, social media platform you're on. It's a lot. And I'm not even a competitor. I'm the wife of a competitor, and I'm like, I'm ready to delete social media. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I cannot give enough respect to the competitors, to the announcers, to
the writing staff,
the writing staff, the production staff. It's so much that goes underappreciated in this game, in this sport that we are trying to cultivate. And I'm not saying that people should not get passionate, just like I said last time. People should get passionate. We do want to treat this as a sport. We want this to grow. We want this to flourish. Absolutely. I would love to see this on,
ESPN4.
So exactly. Somewhere on TV one day.
ESPN de Ocho. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Wherever it can go. Because I wholeheartedly, from the pit of my soul, believe that Christian has something special here that could absolutely grow into a mainstream thing. And I want it to. So people should get passionate about it, because I believe that kind of passion is going to be the spark that's going to grow this thing. But in that same vein, let's just take some time to appreciate the competitors that dedicate hours upon days upon weeks of their own lives preparing for their matches, because they want to put on a good show, because they want to give an accurate representation of their knowledge. They have passion for this, and they take so much stuff from competitors. I know I'm not articulating this as well as I want to, but I can't personally give enough respect to the competitors, the writers, the announcers, the behind-the-scenes production team of this entire thing, because
it's exhausting.
Now that over the past year, and this is a Star Wars competitor.
Yeah,
we've only competed a fraction as much as the other competitors.
You don't see us as much, so
And even just this much involvement has shown me like, whoa, it is a lot.
Yeah.
And I can't give enough respect to especially, and I don't want to sound like I'm pandering or whatever, but I can't give enough respect to Christian and Mark. I know I make jokes, you know.
Yeah.
I crack jokes. That's what I do.
That's
but
80% why you're on the show.
I can't give enough respect, especially with the situations we're going through right now. The all the stuff we've gone through this year so far. Don't need to itemize each thing one by one. We're all aware, but
it's a lot. It is a lot.
Even imagine. And whoever's listening to this show, I don't know how many people will listen, whatever. Please appreciate the work that's put into this show by everybody.
And remember that behind behind the cameras, behind the announcers, behind the competitors,
there are real
people,
actual human beings behind the personas, the characters, the whatever. There's an actual real person with a real life and real feelings behind it. So,
and we don't get paid for it.
And you don't get paid for it.
We're not paid the big. I would love for the Schmoedown to be a career for somebody. That'd be great.
That'd be amazing.
But
That's the dream.
As of right now, it's friends. It's coworkers. It's a fan.
At this point,
it's a fan competing.
Exactly.
So
at this point, get passionate. Absolutely, because that's what we want. That's what we need. But keep in mind that these are also real people. If you it's hard to say. If you wouldn't say it to their face, don't say it on social media. I would love to say that, but people. I can't help but think of like the Peyton Mannings and the Tom Bradys and the Michael Jordans. People say awful stuff about those people.
Yeah,
and they did all throughout their careers. I don't know. We're going off on a weird tangent here, but please just appreciate.
Yeah.
Coming from somebody, I'm not even a competitor. And even I'm like, whoa. This last year has given me a whole different appreciation for the Schmoedown.
We got a different look at it.
A different perspective, a different appreciation. I have a deeper, more robust appreciation for the Schmoedown. And it makes me love it even more, even though it's caused me a lot of personal issues. I'm ready to delete my Facebook and delete my Twitter. That's beside the point. I still love the Schmoedown, and I implore everybody to please appreciate what we're getting, and just, I don't know. I can't say anything other than just please appreciate all the work that goes into it.
Yeah.
This has taken a weird turn.
Yeah, let's get to Josh's comment, because again you have to read his comment on because again the squadron captains now get to dictate the conversation. You didn't exit out of that yet, but squadron captains now get to dictate the conversation for our Patreon or on our weekly shows. And Josh submitted a whole lot. Thank you, Josh, for everything that you're commenting on.
Josh actually had two things about the Andrew and Molly match. Sorry, I just blacked out for a second. So
went on such a passionate rant that you just blacked out for a second.
I can't help it. I love the Schmoedown, and I don't want to sound like an idiot. I don't want to sound like an a-hole. Let's
go ahead and read Josh's comment.
Let me go on by myself in a room with a microphone, and I could go on for a long time, baby. So, Josh, thank you, baby boy. Yeah. So he said, "What are your thoughts on Brandon Hanna posting about the absolute versus absolutes thing? Did you catch it during the match?" Of course.
Yeah. So, it is what it is. I mean, there's plenty. I answered one way. They accepted it. They had Molly and Sam
as well as Christian and Mark as the announcers. Everybody had every opportunity.
Every opportunity to overrule that answer. Didn't happen. Move on. So
can I just reference the fact that in the last Innergeekdom match, Adam Halavic, his answer was League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and he physically wrote Legion of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Didn't get picked up.
No one caught it. Dagnino didn't challenge it. Barbarian didn't challenge it. Mark and Christian didn't challenge it.
They accepted the answer.
They accepted it.
Moved on. So
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I mean, there's not much of an argument. It happened.
It didn't get picked.
No one challenged it. So it is what it is.
It is what it is.
There's not really much to argue here. Sorry.
So continue his comment.
Yeah. And then the next one is on the Tiderium issue.
Mm-hmm.
You said it right.
Thank you.
Ellis even nodded his head in agreement.
Yes, that's right.
You shouldn't have had to spell it. You would have had a TKO being up 22-18 heading into round 3 where she only hit her 2-pointer. You are still #flawless in my opinion. Molly commented on our reaction that she didn't like how it went down and should have got another question anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, you won and you're in the finals. #continue the hunt.
Yeah, thank you for that, Josh. And I will say as much too. Molly did message me. She's like, yeah, I didn't feel good about that steal. Again, it is what it is. It happened. I'm moving on from it.
Even the way it went down, she probably should have gotten a new question.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
But can I just throw in one thing? Can I just throw in one thing? If you still honestly believe that Andrew said Tiderian with an N, I implore you to go back and watch the tons of clip outs that people have posted in the Facebook group or whatever. Go back to Twitch itself. Rewatch it. Watch. Not only listen, but watch. Andrew answer that question. And if you can watch him say Tiderium with his lips closing at the end in the shape of an M, phonetically in the shape of an M, if you can go back and watch him answer that question and still look me in the eyes with a straight face and tell me, nah, he said Tiderian, we don't have much else to talk about here because get out of my face. Because
we'll go ahead and move on.
Let's...
You can talk about this to death. We already have talked about this to death.
I've talked about this too much. I don't need this negativity in my life. He said Tiderium. Let's move on.
But yeah, thank you for that.
Woo-sa! What can I do? This is the man. This is my person here. What else am I to do but defend him? I'll defend him to the day I die. Body to his Clyde. You know what I'm saying? Tiderium for life. You know what I mean? So let's move on.
And like Christian said, every take's
a take.
Is a take.
A wise man once told me, and that's my take. He shouldn't have been asked to spell it. That's my take. So let's move on.
Yeah, but thank you for that. And I, like I said before, after the match, I wanted to enjoy my win.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel like one.
It was dampened.
It was a little dampened, and it's like, I'm in the final. I should be like ecstatic. I should have been coming on this podcast.
Yeah,
like, I'm in the final.
We had a Zoom call with our friends afterward, and they were like, "Oh my God, Andrew, exciting!" And he's like, "I feel like I lost."
Yeah. It was just a bummer how things went down, and like again, it feels like people are just gonna latch onto the Tiderium and not look at what really happened.
Yeah.
I stumbled, I recovered, and I won.
Yeah.
And I do want to give a shout out and credit to the Outlaw, John Roca, because I told him,
John is the best.
John's the best. I messaged
John Roca,
so
Rocha.
He privately DM'd me. He's like, man, congratulations on your win. Way to stay focused and to plow through and get your win. And I opened up and I'm like, yeah, this is what happened. This is my everything I said on this. And he's like, hey man,
didn't know that.
Thank
you for opening up.
Thank you for opening up. And this proves you have a heart of a champion. And the fact that you were able to be rattled like that and still come out and still get every single question right after that says something.
Yeah.
Don't ignore what everyone else is saying about the Tiderium. Yeah, you might have shown your weakness and your flaw that moment, but what you also showed was a heart of a champion, plowing through your questions, staying focused, and staying on top of your game. So I have to just thank John immensely for that, because
John is such a good dude.
I'll take those words with me going forward for the rest of my Schmoedown career.
It's just so surreal that like John Roca is like DMing you. Like, what are we doing here? It's still just so crazy.
Yeah.
And
so that was my match against Molly Damon.
There's still so much I could say. I could go on for another at least 30 minutes by myself, but it's just not constructive.
We're already hitting an hour and 20 minutes. But
I want to.
Do
but
we have the schedule for next week? Because I would like to give our predictions for next week.
Let me look it up.
But yeah, like it was a great match. It was regardless. And I said, don't sleep on Molly Damon. She performed really well. She was great
Molly's
person.
fantastic.
And it's just...
And I sincerely hope that she comes back next year.
I think she will.
She's fantastic.
She's another personality that the Schmoedown needs. So I really hope
Absolutely.
that she does come back next season. So
hold on, everybody. Sorry, I don't mean to make some weird
it's
awkward
silence.
pause. Let's fill this.
But yeah,
let's,
so
let's
it should
fill
the
this
next.
gap.
So next week we have we have 2 IG matches.
All
And
right,
a Star Wars match.
I got it, baby. I got it. Because today, the day that we're recording is Saturday the 27th. You're listening to this on not that day.
Listen to us on Monday.
Sorry. So we've got
So
Wednesday, July 1st is Laura Kelly versus Ace Cabrera.
Ooh.
Laura Lights Out Kelly of Corruption against Andres Ace Cabrera of Swag.
So who do you have in this match?
It's
hard not to pick Laura.
I understand where Ace is coming from, like, oh, everybody's underestimating me and blah blah blah. It's very hard to not favor Laura Kelly.
Yes.
So if I had to bet my money, I'm going to bet on Laura Kelly. Everyone Winston and Ace saying, "Oh, keep sleeping on me."
You're going up against Laura Kelly.
You know what? I wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. It would be a gigantic, like, I don't know, what's upset is what they call it. It would be a gigantic upset.
I was choked on my water.
To see Ace beat Laura. But given the track records, given the paths they have both taken thus far, I'm taking Laura.
I am taking Laura too. I mean, it'd be...
And if Ace proves me wrong, I will
fantastic.
wholeheartedly admit it.
I've said it from the beginning of the tournament. It's gonna be me and Laura. I'm in the final as of right now. Laura's just got to get past Ace. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be me and Laura in the final. So that's who I have. Ace proved me wrong.
That's who I have too, and I wish nothing but the best of luck to Ace.
It's a tall task for Ace. He needs to have the game of a lifetime, and Laura needs to miss a couple.
It's not that I don't think he's good enough. It's just that we've seen Laura, what she can do.
Yeah.
It's just like what we said about, Ken and Ace. We said it's really hard to not take Ken, given his track record. Then when we watched the match, a bit of a different, outcome.
Different story, different outcome, yeah.
But given Laura's track record, I'm going to go ahead and I like sure things. And given Laura's track record, I find it hard to bet against her.
She very much looks like a sure thing.
So if I had to guess, I'm gonna take Laura.
Yes.
And I wish nothing but the best of luck to Ace.
Personally, I would like to see Laura again. If you want to beat the best, you got to beat the best.
I mean, it would be, if you're looking at storylines, it would be great to see either or. It would be great to see Laura, Redemption. It would be great to see Ace, two of the underdogs of the tournament.
He's the Cinderella of the tournament.
He is the Cinderella of that side of the bracket. No one saw him.
Not just that of the bracket. He's the Cinderella of the tournament.
Yeah, that's true.
He's broken.
But
all
even
brackets.
on just that end of the bracket, no one saw him getting to this point.
Yeah.
No one saw him. People were betting against him against Quevedo.
Yeah.
An unproven rookie. And we've seen Ace. He's on a Star Wars podcast that people watch, and they still bet against him.
Yeah.
So he's definitely a Cinderella story, at least on that side of the bracket, if not the whole tournament. But, I mean, if we're talking story-wise, you versus Laura, you versus Ace, that's pretty good either way, story-wise. So we've got Laura versus Ace.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I would take Laura.
Yes.
And then we've got, for patrons, Monday and Tuesday.
What's coming up? Let's go to the Thursday match.
Thursday? Yeah. It's Mike Kalinowski versus Greg.
Ooh.
Alba with A-L-B-A is how you spell his name if you weren't sure. I'm going to have to go ahead
Mike Kalinowski.
And go with Mike Kalinowski. It's hard.
It's hard
to bet against Mike Kalinowski.
It's hard to like compare him, like, knowledge wise, because Warfather didn't have the greatest of performances, and
in that match neither did Greg.
Yeah,
he won. But it was it was what it was.
It was more whatever. But
I hate the phrase "it is what it is," but I use it way too much to be able to say I hate that phrase. It's such a dumb
Yeah, but we
phrase,
both. I think
but I use it way too much.
we
to be
both
able to
have
say
Kalinowski in this because former
mean,
two-time Innergeekdom champion. People
it-
people forget that quite often.
Honestly,
he's the only double-time Innergeekdom champion.
It would be insulting.
Oh yeah.
To not pick it would be insulting to not pick Mike, and that's nothing against Greg
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Look at what Mike's done. It would honestly be insulting to pick
Yeah. So
not him.
we could both have
No,
Mike.
regardless of who he went against.
Yeah.
I mean, unless he was going against Kevin Smets, you
Again,
know,
yeah, brother.
in a first round match going against somebody who won the play-in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick Mike Kalinowski.
Yeah. And then on Friday we have.
And then on Friday we have Robert the Spider Parker against Ben the Bandit Goddard. You know what I'm
Ooh.
saying?
So
That's a big one. That's a spicy one.
So again, it's hard to kind of because we only have one game tape on Parker, and
Exactly.
it is an impressive one.
impressive one.
It's a very impressive.
Who was
one.
it against? I
It was
forget.
against Ace.
It was that's right. It was
Yeah,
against
it was
Ace.
against Ace. I'm cheering for Ben though. God, Ben Goddard. Man.
Me too.
I'm cheering for Ben, but it's hard to bet against Parker, but just because of all the clout he has.
There's so much
Yeah.
chatter. There's so much hype around
Around
Robert Parker. I mean, I would bet on Goddard as well.
Mhm.
You know, because everyone loves an underdog story. Because
Yeah.
I mean, even though Ben is undefeated,
Mm-hmm.
and Robert Parker's only had one match, and we're all already
Crowning
peeing
him.
our pants
You're already
over
crowning him. Yeah.
He's got one match, and we're all freaking out saying he's the next, belt holder.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. But
yeah.
Everyone loves an underdog story.
Yeah.
So, and I can't bet against Ben Goddard.
Goddard.
It's Ben Goddard. So, I'm going to go with Ben.
I'm cheering for Ben, but I wouldn't be surprised if Parker.
No, not
I wouldn't
at
be surprised
all.
if either one won this match.
It's going to be, at least I hope it's going to be a scrap to the finish.
Yes.
I don't
want to see a knockout or
Does
anything.
anybody ever really want to see a KO or
No.
or a TKO?
I don't think so.
I mean, unless you really just really don't like somebody, which that's your own issue if you
Yeah.
don't like somebody that much. But you want to see the nail biters, you know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping it's a good match.
I'm hoping it's a good match. Yeah.
And we don't get it until Friday.
We don't get to Friday.
Ian has a Patreon?
Nope.
Patron?
Nope.
Patreon?
Patron. Nope. And I think we're gonna try to have Ben on for that episode. So we'll get his reactions.
It's been a hot minute since Ben's been on this show.
This show he was on Going Rogue.
We
this
just
last
had
time.
Ben on Going Rogue. We talked about The Force Awakens. It was fun.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. You should like it and watch it
Yeah.
and stuff. But yeah, we'll probably talk to Ben because why wouldn't we? So we,
Yeah.
we should.
Yeah.
Well, it is what it is. We'll probably talk to Goddard.
So I think we're gonna have to wrap up this extra long episode. Sorry we dragged on.
Sorry, but also you're kind of lucky because I probably could have gone on for an extra 2 hours, but I shouldn't because I don't have the energy. But I probably kind of could.
So we're gonna wrap this episode up. Thank you for guys for joining us. Nicki Dimalanta, where can they find you online?
Oh my God.
Speaking to the mic, my dear.
Well, I guess.
Dragging this out really.
I guess I would say Twitter. Twitter, and it's at Dimmy, DIMMM. Y Dimmy.
I saw what you did
Not-
there. Dinny.
It's not Dinny. It's Dimmy. DIMMMY.
Oh.
M as in Mancy.
I'm sorry.
You know what I'm
Christian.
saying?
I'm sorry, Christian.
I
I'm
shouldn't
so
have done
I'm
that.
so sorry, Christian.
That was wrong. I was just trying to make an Archer reference. If anyone got that, high five me virtually. I'm sorry. I
Sorry,
apologize for myself. DIMMMYYY.
As for me, you can follow me on Twitter and Twitch, even though I'm not going to be doing much on Twitch until after the tournament, at Drew Dimalanta, DIMALANTA. If you are watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on audio form on the Beyond Schmoedown podcast feed, please rate us. It'll help us tremendously. And the patreon.com/Andrew and Nicki, Nicki. We're going to be filming a play along
At some point in the near future.
Some point in the near future. Yes, we'll be doing it. And I think we're going to be doing the wild berries versus the real rejects.
Oh, it's going to be a good one.
So if you want to see that,
I'm going to take them down.
As soon as we get that filmed and put up on for patrons, patrons will get that immediately. The public will have to wait until August. They're going to have to wait till August to see it. So if you want to see it right as we drop it, you got to join the Patreon. Patreon.com/Andrew and Nicki.
Yeah, baby.
I'd like to thank our squadron captains, Tamor Butta, Ferris Mathana, and Josh Estes.
Estes. E-S-T-E-S.
Yes. So
if you're wondering how it's spelled.
Yeah, thank you for Sorry, Christian.
I'm sorry. I've had like an entire bottle of wine already, and I'm sorry.
Thank you for our squadron commanders. So thank you for everybody joining us on this episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. We will see you
next time. Time.